AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Kaylee Cuoco and Sam Claflin star in the MGM Plus original series, Vanished. When the man Alice loves disappears on a train to the south of France, every romantic memory becomes evidence. Every intimate detail, a potential threat. She thought she knew everything about him, but she may not even know his real name. 4-part thriller Vanished premieres February 1st on MGM Plus. Finding the truth is a dangerous affair.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your haunted host, Jennifer, a teller of ghost stories and also your resident medium. Tonight for you, I have searched for the strange and the spooky, unusual stories. I have found tales of ghostly floating heads. You're welcome. After the spooky, stay for the spiritual. Join me at my séance table for a message from the spirits. During this time, as your medium, I set the intention to call a spirit close, connected to someone listening to the podcast. And since you're attending, this message really could be specifically for you. That's after the ghost stories. So let's get to the spooky. The ghostly tales start right now. I've been fascinated by unexplained phenomena since I was about 9 years old. I loved listening to my parents read ghost stories and hearing spooky tales whispered around the campfire at Girl Scouts. Still, as much as I adored those stories, I never truly believed I would see a ghost myself. That belief changed one evening. I was 11 years old, and our home was in an old area filled with large craftsman-style houses, exactly the kind of place where you'd expect spirits to linger. I'm sure there were many there. But on that particular night, the spirit I encountered wasn't a stranger. It was family. It was a quiet Saturday evening. After dinner and a long game of Monopoly, my younger sister and I went upstairs to our shared bedroom. Her bed sat across the room from mine. The house had settled into silence, and the room was dim, lit only by a faint slash of moonlight through the windows. We weren't quite tired yet, and whispered back and forth while trying to settle into sleep. When suddenly, about 6 feet off the ground, just beyond the foot of my bed, a thin mist appeared. I watched, frozen and fascinated, as it slowly gathered shape. The fog condensed into a head of a man, clear, unmistakable features emerging from the haze. He had a narrow nose, a high forehead, and intense eyes that looked straight at me. I didn't dare glance away to my sister. Then, the head began to move its mouth. I couldn't hear a sound, but I could clearly see his mouth was forming words. He was talking to me. I remember watching, trying to understand what I was seeing, wondering what he was trying to say. Needing confirmation that I wasn't imagining it, I quietly asked my sister, "Do you see that thing floating at the foot of my bed?" I finally glanced at her. She opened her eyes and looked. She saw it too. She screamed, and then I screamed. Our father and brother came rushing up the stairs, flipping on the light as they burst into the room. "What's wrong?" my dad demanded. The moment the light flooded the room, the apparition vanished. Gone. Just like that. I wasn't sure if I felt relieved or disappointed. After we explained what happened, my father grew quiet. He asked me to describe exactly what the apparition looked like. Then he went downstairs and returned with a photo album I had never seen before. He handed it to me and asked me to look through it to see if anyone resembled the face I had seen. As I flipped through the pages, one photograph stopped me cold. "That's him," I said. "That's the man." The picture was of my father's father, my grandfather, who had died in 1950, 6 years before I was born. His head never appeared again, and I never found out what he was trying to tell me. The rule I learned after years of ghost hunting: you go in calm, skeptical enough to keep your footing, open enough not to miss the subtle things. The real experiences usually came quietly: cold spots, odd feelings, a sound you couldn't place. The cemetery was old but well cared for, tucked behind a gathering of dark pine trees that muted the noise from the road. The kind of place that felt still and somber rather than frightening. Headstones leaned with age, their inscriptions softened by time. As I walked the narrow paths, my flashlight beam skimmed over names and dates, and my recorder was on in my pocket, more out of habit than expectation. I was near the back of the cemetery when the air shifted. A little colder, a little thinner, like the quiet had stretched out and surrounded me. Even the insects seemed to pause. I stopped walking, listening, suddenly aware of how loud my breathing sounded. That's when I saw it. My flashlight caught something pale between two headstones about 20 feet in front of me. At first, I thought it was a trick of light. I adjusted my beam, expecting to see marble or a weathered angel statue. Instead, a face drifted into view. It was just a head, no shoulders, no body, floating about chest height. The features were faint but unmistakably human. Eyes closed, mouth slightly open as if caught mid-breath. It had the translucent quality of something seen through fog, edges soft and wavering, but the expression was painfully clear. A tortured mix of agony and dread. My brain scrambled for explanations, a reflection, a prank, exhaustion, anything that didn't involve what I was actually looking at. I lowered my flashlight, then raised it again. The head was still there. It didn't rush at me, it didn't scream or snarl. It simply drifted, slowly, almost purposefully, sideways between the stones. As it passed beneath the beam of my light, I noticed the way the glow dimmed through it, like light through smoke. The smell hit me then, damp earth and something metallic. My heart pounded and every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't look away. The face wasn't angry or threatening. It looked tired, worn down. Then the eyes opened. They didn't look at me at first. They scanned the ground, unfocused, as if searching for something that wasn't there anymore. When they finally lifted and met mine, I felt it in my chest, a sudden pressure, sharp and heavy, like grief that wasn't my own. No words came, no voice echoed in my head, just a wave of emotion so strong it nearly dropped me to my knees. And then, just as quietly as it had appeared, the head began to fade. The features blurred, the light passed through it more easily now, until there was nothing left but empty air and the steady beam of my flashlight hitting the grass beyond. The insects started up again. I don't remember walking back to my car, only the feeling of my legs moving and the night slowly returning to normal around me. When I finally reached the edge of the cemetery, I stopped and turned around, half expecting to see it again. I didn't. I've gone on many ghost hunts since then. I've experienced strange things, voices on recordings, shadows where there shouldn't be, but I've never seen anything like that again. When I was about 8 years old, I used to see a head in the attic window. Not every day, not even every week, just often enough that I began to expect it in the same way you expect a creaky stair to groan when you step on it. Our house was an old 2-story with a steep roof and a single attic window set into the front gable. From the yard, it looked like a watchful eye. I noticed it first while playing outside. I glanced up at the house, squinting into the dusty glass, and I saw a pale shape where there shouldn't have been one. A face. Only a face. It hovered just behind the window, framed by darkness, as if the rest of the body had sunk away into the attic shadows. I remember standing very still, holding my breath, waiting for it to move. It didn't. The head was colorless, washed out like a faded photograph. The features were unsettling, eyes dark and unfocused, mouth slightly open, the head slightly tilted. No expression. I'd blink hard and look again, and it would be gone. I didn't tell anyone. I felt foolish to admit something I couldn't explain. But after that, I started checking the attic window whenever I was outside. Most days, there was nothing, just dusty glass and reflected sky. And then, every so often, the head would be there. It never pressed against the glass or made any attempt to get my attention. It simply appeared, lingering for a second or two before fading back into the darkness. Sometimes it seemed closer, sometimes farther away, as if floating just behind the window. The whole situation was almost boring if it wasn't so darn creepy. I didn't have nightmares. I didn't feel watched. It was just another strange feature of the house, like the way the hallway felt colder at night, or how the attic stairs always smelled faintly of old wood and dust. Years passed. I grew up. The house was sold. The memory faded into something I rarely thought about, until one afternoon, long after I'd moved out, when my dad and I were talking about the old place. I don't remember how it came up, maybe nostalgia, but I laughed and I said, "That attic always creeped me out. I used to think I saw someone in the window." My dad went quiet. And then he said, "I saw that too." I felt my stomach drop. He told me he noticed it a few times while working in the yard, just ahead in the attic window. He always assumed it was a reflection or other explainable weirdness. He never said anything because he didn't want to scare me or my mother. Then he told me something else. After we moved out, a neighbor mentioned why the house had been on the market so long before we bought it. Years earlier, a man had hanged himself in the attic. The family never talked about it. The realtor hadn't disclosed it, but everyone on the street knew. I pictured the attic window then, the height, the beam inside, the way the head always appeared alone, suspended in shadow. Suddenly, the memory shifted. What I had seen wasn't watching me. It wasn't floating. It was hanging. Even now, decades later, when I pass the old house with the single attic window staring out over the yard, I feel the same quiet chill, and I can't help it. I look away, just in case something is still lingering behind the glass, waiting to be noticed again.
Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet, so switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
Hello and welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. I have a message from the spirits this evening, so gather close here at my séance table. And as I work tonight, I have with me the herb yarrow. Yarrow has a very lengthy history in divination work and magic work in general. Many herbalists consider it a sacred plant with special spiritual powers to offer protection, and yarrow is often used in rituals to protect against evil. It's considered to be the herb of courage and strength, and you can wear it to ward off fear, and it's said to grant the wearer the courage to face the truth of a situation and to bring illumination in the process. So work with yarrow if that resonates with you. I'm going to take a minute to clear my mind, open up the space for spirit to come close. Okay, there's a gentleman with me. He's saying husband. He's saying grandfather. He's right away sharing with me, I can feel it, his stubbornness, he's calling it. And there's this refusal to move. Refusal to get up, cooperate, leave the house. He seems very reclusive, and it's not like he's shy. He is actually, he has a deep voice, a loud voice. I'm getting military history with him. I think he served when he was younger. I'm also seeing like a dark room, lots of books. He loves his newspapers. He loves his TV shows. Just very set in his ways. And he is, wow, he's a little pushy. He wants me to get right to the message. And he wants to acknowledge and apologize how he let his negative slant color everything and how it affected everyone. And he was difficult, and he wants to express how grateful he is for the love and care and support you gave him over the years. He honors you for that, and he loves you so much and appreciates you so much, and he feels like he can't say that enough. So feel like it's just not something that you heard at the time, and he really wants to offer it as a form of healing and acknowledgement for you. He has all of the enthusiasm and passion for opinions, and certainly lets you know his mind. He's acknowledging that you've been through a lot and there's been a lot of change. He wants to add some levity, and he says he wants to encourage you to not let things color your world and put these heavy filters on because of the pain and challenges that you've had to face. And he just wants to see you happy and to focus on the things that do bring you joy if you can. And he says he's sorry about the way he left certain situations, and he trusts that you have this natural intuition and compass that he knows will guide you through anything. So really rely on your inner voice when you need to. And he loves you. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I hope this message finds you if it's for you, and that I hope it brings healing and connection for you. Thank you. And with that, dear listener, we've reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you've enjoyed my spirit work that I shared with you this evening, as well as those ghostly tales of floating heads. Have you ever seen a floating ghost head? No body? I would love to hear about it, so please reach out. In the meantime, wherever you wander off to in this world or the next, just remember, come back and visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/Spotify. That's greenlight.com/Spotify.